All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these new coils. These are now the second set of new coils that I've gotten from Uwell. I got the original coils that came with the Crown 2. Then I got another set of coils that were stainless steel outside housing, but maybe some people still had problems. These are the third set of coils from the originals I got to the first set of new coils to the second set of new coils. So this is now, we're on the third generation of coils for this. They also sent a nice black crown tank. I'm not going to take this apart. I'm just going to show you. It's sleek, it's sexy, it's anodized black. All right, and it's vaping fine. I'm vaping that at 50 watts on the 0.25 ohm coils. I find that I don't need to vape as high as wattage to get a nice vape. And this is the 0.5 ohm, which is reading at 0.6. And I'm getting a great vape at 51 watts on this one. Perfect flavor, delicious, awesome. It's the Smoke Quantum 80, like that. Okay, watch this. Leave the blue wrap on so you can tell what the fuck coils you have in here by color. These are not nickel. The blue indicates the 0.8 ohm Canthal coil. So you're gonna do this. And you see how that sticker just peeled and left that behind? That's good, that's fine. All right, it's supposed to leave that bottom strip. Just leave that on there so that way you know what tube this is. You still have an indication. Okay, so it's 0.8 ohm coil. If you took that blue thing off, you would have no way to identify it differently than your other 0.2 and 0.5 coils. Authenticity. All right, so here are the coils. Let me show you in comparison to the old coils. All right, so this is my brand new one. This is the one that they just sent me. And let's see if it looks any different. I don't see any difference. It still has about 1.5 turns of coil before it fuses to the parallel stainless steel wire. All right. Doesn't look any different. It's still grounded to the negative outer housing. And the reason this outer housing can be negative, this is positive, then there's rubber, then this is negative. So let's take a look at the pin when you remove that. Let's take a look inside here. Much more cotton. Yes. Big difference. Okay, let's compare. Let's compare all three. Whoa. I'll keep these separate because that's the third version of the coil. That's the second version of the coil with the stainless steel. And this is the first version of the coil with that chrome plated. Okay. Let's look at these guys and the amount of cotton. Yep. I think that's a good example. Right? Are we close enough? So look how much cotton. You can see it. This is the new one. You can see the cotton coming well below that coil. And this, it's the same. On this one, the cotton's flush with that coil, and then when you put a little pressure on this, it pulls that coil, that first loop of coil up. So I would not feel confident. This should be further in, or the cotton come further down. So that's the fix. Let's take a look at the brass one. And yeah, and these are the original ones that came out. And that one's not so great. So, and I don't know if pushing on this pushes the coil in, or pushing it this way pulls the coil up. I don't know. We can't see when this pin is inside there. But, so that's potentially what the problem was. All right? Potentially. Don't go clipping that little lead. We thought that would work. I don't think that really made much of a difference. In fact, I prefer it on there so that at least it's going to get this push down. When you put the 510 pin on, at least it's going to get pushed down into there. And that'll push that coil in further. So, in theory, hopefully, I don't know if that's what the problem was. And again, I really didn't experience it to the extent that others have. I noticed a bit of, like the juice was very hot, and the flavor was off a little bit from the original coil. After vaping for like a week, and I didn't get it the next day. I loved this tank for a while, and then I was like, all right, I guess the coils don't last as long as the original Crown. You know, that's a lot to ask. All right, so we're gonna come out a little bit. I'm gonna use this. This is from another juice from Alloy Blends. Very yummy juice, dunked. Parts of this video are going to be used public, and parts of this video are just going to sit here unlisted. This coil has a lot of cotton. It breaks in quicker. It's not as densely packed like the original Crown coils, that's for sure, but it does have a lot of cotton. It's very thick diameter of cotton, which extends from like basically this thickness of cotton all the way around. So it's going to take some juice. I put it up on top there because it's going to pull from the top. That's like my little reservoir, secret stash of juice as this is absorbing in. Okay. Looks like it's getting pretty saturated. Can't tell from there. You got to look at the sides and see when the sides start turning translucent. That one's saturated. That one's close. That one's saturated. That one's close. Uwell Crown2. All right, good enough. I'm going to fill the tank now. Also, that juice on the top there, that's going to seal with this seal. It's going to press nicely in there. Remember, I put a little bit of juice around these O-rings because they're about to slide. A little more couldn't hurt. They're about to slide. And trust me, if you got a leaky tank or a bad seal and you're not snug down on there, juice is going to go down there anyway. So it doesn't hurt you to have a little bit of juice in those threads. That was buttery smooth. That's hand tight. Once I see that gap disappear, isn't that perfectly seamless? Isn't that nice? There we go. All right, let's fill it up. Oh, what juice is this, you were asking? Why, that's dunked. Vanilla cookie with milk. I chose a more subtle flavored juice so I can taste anything. I didn't want a powerful flavored juice. I want to taste anything funky if there's anything going on with this coil. I'm going to know it. There's not going to be any bold flavored juice hiding it. So that's good. That's good enough for now. Get a little more juice on this one here. Okay, screw on the top. That's sealed. There's our tank. I'll put these off to the side. These two coils serve no purpose for me anymore. I wasn't a fan of this metal. I didn't really know what the hell that was about. You know, pearled chrome plating on top of brass. Maybe it's fine. I just don't know. By the way, here's the Black Uwell Crown2. It's just gorgeous. All right, so let's go back up top and talk about this. Okay, so there are some close-ups of the new coils. That is my theory on what was improved and what changed, but I really don't know. In manufacturing, in design, all I can say is I've been vaping on this black one. This is my 4th tank of juice. The flavor's awesome. I'm vaping it at between 50 and 60 watts. I find that on the new coils of the Crown 2, I always vape my Crown version 1 between 70 and 80 watts. I find on this, I don't need to go as high on the wattage to get a nice flavorful vape. 50 watts. That's fantastic. In this tank, I'm vaping Fix E-Liquid, Milky Shake. I mean, I'm no stranger to that juice. I've gone through probably 500 milliliters of that juice over the last 7-8 months. I love that juice. I'm very familiar with how that juice tastes in a tank, dripping, in various tanks. It's strawberry milkshake. I get the strawberry, I get the milkshake. This is blueberry cheesecake from Mesa Vapes. I've been vaping that juice since December, so I'm going on 7 to 8 months of vaping that. It's an all-day vape for me. I've gone through more than 1,000 milliliters of that juice. I usually go through about a 120 a week of that juice, in and amongst everything else I vape. I know that juice in drippers, in tanks, at low wattage, at high wattage, in RTAs up to 200 watts. That's the juice I use at 1.5 milligram nicotine strength because it's light on flavoring and it has no sweetener in it. I'm vaping this 0.5 ohm coil at 51 watts. That 0.5 ohm coil is reading at 0.61 ohms. That's fine, that's natural. All sub-ohm tanks, their stock coils will vary. The Crown tank coils never read at 0.25. They would read at 0.28, 0.29, 0.31. So with the Crown 2, you pick the coil based on the flavor experience you want and the wattage range you want to vape at. 51 watts is an outstanding vape. The flavor production is great. I will fault them. It's been said before by some others. Mike Vape said it very well. The coils don't really perform well at the top end of the range. For example, the 0.25 ohm coil, Uwell says is good for 60 to 100 watts. I like it better at 60, 65 watts. I really don't like to vape at 80, 85 watts. You can vape there, but it's very hot. It's extreme to me. 60 watts, just fine. So that's a 0.25 coil. This is the 0.5 coil. This is the Smoke Quantum 80 mod, vaping at 51 watts. Okay, now, this is the tank that I just put the coil in. That brand new coil one. This is the tank I just reassembled. This is the tank. I'm going to start breaking this in at 30 watts. 30 and some change. Okay, this is what I like to do. Could you start higher? Yeah, you could start at 40 or 50 if you want, but I kind of like to let the metal get used to the heat first. A couple of pulses at least. Be patient. Foreplay. That's the first hit. That's the first hit on a brand new coil. It's not intended to be a flavorful vape. You're breaking in a coil. The first few hits are going to be break-in cotton flavor. I'll say this, the Crown 2 coils break in a hell of a lot faster than the Crown version 1. Same concept applies though. So now I'm up to 36 watts and I'm going to go up to 40 watts. A couple of hits, start at 30, couple of short quick puffs. Go to 35, couple of short quick puffs, maybe a longer, a little bit like a second long pull. As you go up higher in wattage, just like, think of it like this. When you go diving and you need to decompress, so you rise up another 10 feet and then you hang out there for a few breaths of air. Hang out there, let your blood pressure adapt to the ambient pressure, then go up another 10 feet. Sort of like that, a decompression. This is an escalation of heat and a lengthening of your draws, your hits. See how there's more vapor production? And on my side that you can't see, I'm getting more flavor from the juice. I'm tasting vanilla, cookie, and milk. And I'm tasting more juice than I am break-in cotton flavor. So that's the 0.25, that's the 0.5, this is the 0.8 Canthol coil, and 44 watts. I'm going to go up a little higher. I'm going to stop at 50. How nice is that though? A great vape at 50 watts, 60 watts. Flavor's awesome. And the coil's broken in. At this point, the coil's broken in. Now you can go ahead and keep going up in the wattage range until you hit max on the coil if you want. Maybe thoroughly break in that coil, maybe thoroughly temper and season the cotton. I'm going to give you a couple of pointers right now. This O-ring on the coil is very loose. See that? It took barely any effort whatsoever for that to fall off. In fact, okay, it won't fall off by itself, but if you're rolling this out of the tube, look at, that's all it takes. So if you pop this in without that O-ring, it's going to leak. And I'm going to hear about it on my channel in this video and comments, and I'm going to go back and say, remember my video when I told you put that O-ring seats up here, okay? So check to make sure that's on. All right, this Canthol coil is rated 35 to 55 watts. That's the rating. So I'm at the top end of the range on this, 50 watts. It keeps getting better and better. The flavor is getting better and better as this coil breaks in more and more. That's delicious. I'm going to go to the top end of the range. I'm going to go to 55 watts. And then I'm probably going to go back down to like 40, somewhere mid-range. So this is top end of the range on this coil, this 0.8 ohm coil. Flavor's delicious. That's a nice, intense, rich vape. Perfect flavor, awesome flavor. If these coils keep vaping the way they are right now, I will be completely satisfied with this tank, and I would say this is a tank for the ages. If something changes, I'll keep you posted. So this is a quick look of, I got the new tank yesterday, the black one. Nobody had this before yesterday. I got the new coils with the black tank, came in the same package. I'm now vaping a brand new 0.25, a brand new 0.5, and a brand new 0.8. Vaping deliciously. And now here's where I will go into a little bit of detail. I'm not going to go ahead and call anybody out. I'm just going to say, hey, sometimes people have a little bit of an attitude and get surly about certain things. We don't know the history and the background, what motivates somebody to be very emotionally charged, very, enough said, emotionally charged. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out. But I will say this. At no point have I tasted any ass flavor. I don't know. I cleaned out these two tanks very thoroughly. I broke them down, I washed them, I took all the O-rings off, I removed any trace of previous juice on them, and I'm not getting any residual flavor of any previous juices that I had. I have brand new coils in there that I've broken in, and the flavor is pure, and it's coming through exactly as expected, as I've experienced in other tanks and dripping. I get nothing but a nice, pure, crisp, sharp flavor of the juice as intended. And that's about all I can say. And that's all I need to say. Yeah. So let's talk about these coils. Some legitimate and very well-known and prominent and well-respected reviewers, some of whom I respect, have experienced some challenge with the coils. It wasn't until Mark Fagan pointed out that the replacement coils of this brushed, pearled, chrome-plated brass or copper, whatever these first ones were, it wasn't until Mark pointed that out and I said, holy smokes, let me go try that. And I took some of the replacement tubes. The coils that came in the package were fine. The replacement tubes didn't thread correctly. So they got rid of this pearled, chrome-plated housing material. They went back to the stainless steel, which quite frankly I am pleased about, because I'd much prefer that. I have more experience with that as a jacket housing for a coil. I didn't get the hot spot issues that Mark was, but I did get some flavor change, and I did get something I wasn't crazy about with the coils. To where, yeah, but my first course of action is to communicate with the company that sent me the product and say, hey, what's up with this? Am I the only one who notices this? Are other people experiencing this? And then based on the feedback, I want to see, is the company going to do something about it? Let's not create widespread hysteria and epidemic where none is necessary. So whatever was going on with the coils, they changed them. From the original ones to the change without the pearled brass, to the final ones that we all just got yesterday. There's been an improvement. The company made changes. Until I know different, there's nothing wrong with this tank. I'm not paid to say this tank is good. I'm not paid to say this tank is not good. I have no agenda other than the fact that I'm a consumer. And were I to go out and buy this for $30 to $40 online or in a retail store, I would want to know whether it's good or not, and that's why people tune in and watch my channel. I will not speculate as to why other people have differences of opinions that come across very emotionally charged. Am I going to wash this under the rug like nothing happened? No, I'm not. But I would say this, the company, at least before they even released the product, they waited for feedback and then they got new coils out. Okay, so some people felt that there was still an issue with the second set of coils, but not everybody experienced that. Some people did. So that means that they weren't consistent. That means that the company had to do something about it. Is this the first company in the history of vaping to ever have an issue? No, it is not. This happens all the time. What I want to see from a company is, what are they going to do about it? How quickly are they going to adapt, change, and what are they going to do to get better products out there in the market, replacements maybe? I really don't know, and I don't speak on behalf of Uwell. All I can tell you is there was a problem with the coils some people were experiencing. They went and replaced them. They fixed the problem. As far as today goes, I don't have an issue with any of these tanks. I don't have an issue with any of these coils. They all thread in perfectly smooth. They all vape perfectly fine. And I do not get any weird metal burning tastes or hot spotting issues or anything other than my intended vape. So, that's Milky Shake from Fixie Liquid. That's Mesa Vape's Blueberry Cheesecake. And this is Dunked from Alloy Blends. Fantastic. I'm actually very pleased with this 0.8 ohm Canthal coil. The flavor on that is awesome. I wasn't expecting that. In fact, when I saw these blue tubes first, when I got these tanks, I thought, without even looking closely, I figured the blue indicated nickel. That's not the case. It's a 0.8 ohm Canthal. So that's it. That's me weighing in on the subject. Has Uwell changed and adapted to some reported problems with their coils by some people in the market? Yes, they have. And they've replaced those coils. And all of the reviewers that they sent products out to, they've now sent their second set of new coils and a couple of new tanks out to. As far as anybody claiming that they've been using this Black Crown tank for a week plus, no, they haven't, because nobody had this before fucking yesterday. And as far as people claiming that there's bad flavor, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not experiencing that. Does that mean that nobody's going to have a problem? No. I don't know what people are going to experience. All I could tell you is what I'm experiencing. And that's why you tune into my channel and watch my stuff. Thank you very much for watching Quest for Vape.